I'm going to say to you what I have to say to myself every single day. And that is, he has to have someone. He has to have a person there to fill that void of thinking about what he did to me, thinking about how he tore our family apart, thinking about his actions, because that guilt, he can't sit with that guilt and that grief. So he has to have a distraction. He has to have someone there at all times. And I'm focusing on healing, being better for my children, and becoming a better person, and learning my worth, and never allowing someone to ever treat me the way that he treated me. And you need to remember that, because karma always comes back around.
Karma not gonna come back around if ain't nobody did nothing wrong. If he was causing him stress in his life and he decided enough is enough, then what?
So where are you calling me from?
I am calling you from Kansas City.
Do you have any kids?
I do.
How many?
3.
By how many men?
By 1.
You ever been married?
Yes.
When did you get divorced?
Because I wanted to be fast.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Are
You
serious?
asked me questions. You want me to stop. You don't want me to tell you no lie, right?
So you divorced your husband because you wanted to be out here in these streets?
I did. Yep.
Well, how did that street life work for you?
It did not.
Boy, you don't sit your stupid ass down. Who the f you think you is?
A woman in the comments said, "What the F?" Another woman said, "It's not easy for men these days. God bless the good women in this world." Another woman said, "Mama, you was a 304 from before marriage. You missed that 304 life. Now you want to go back." Another woman said, "Did I hear her right?"
You've got to be one desperate woman to mess around with a man that tells you that he's going through a divorce and it's not finalized. You are a desperate trailer park trash, junkie homewrecker that could not wait. That's ridiculous to me. And this is coming from a woman that I think that marriage is a piece of paper. But you low down to not even give them a chance to figure out, or time. I don't care if it's been a year. That man is still married. Why are you talking to him? You didn't even give them a chance mentally to figure out, are we sure we want to go through this? Because you stepped in. Even if the divorce was done and they decided, we don't want to do this no more, but it's still not finalized. We don't want to do this no more. I don't want to get back with you. You still need to have respect and wait until that divorce is on paper and says it's done. You got all these other options out here, but you wanted to come in the middle of a broken home. You dirty. Now clean.
Dude in the comments said, "Your due date is over." Another person said he was done a long time ago. Another dude said, "Homewrecker, the home is already demolished, miss." So basically what's happening here is that she's upset a woman moved in on her territory before she had completely given her territory away legally, right? She has checked out of the relationship, but the fact that she's still in a relationship on paper, which she says that she doesn't believe, not sure how that works, it's the principle for her. So I do get where she's coming from at the end of the day, all jokes aside.
When I decided that I was going to tell him that I wanted a divorce, we sit down in our session. It's like really tense, really awkward. My ex was sitting there like, so why do we have an emergency session? Therapist was like, "Jamie, do you want to start?"
Yeah.
And I just started crying and I was like, "I want a divorce." So he responded right away and he's like, "Fine, let's just go ahead and finalize the details."
Good.
Like, I knew that I was ready to leave that day, but I couldn't believe that was his reaction. There was no empathy, there was no compassion, there was no like wanting to fight for us, and I was like, so what are we gonna do?
Like, women gotta understand everything ain't a game. Plus, I know women like to say, oh, by the time I leave, I've been out of the relationship for months. The men is the same way. The only difference is men typically don't like change as much, and men are more willing to work on it. If a man is not willing to work on it, that means he has been through. She talking about he didn't have no empathy and stuff. Why should he? She said she wanted a divorce. Why should he?
He still should.
Oh yeah, y'all crazy.
How long were they together?
I don't know. She didn't put none of that in there, so it must have not worked to her benefit. Because typically, if it worked to her benefit, women gonna put it in there.
I mean, if you give up that easily, you didn't love me.
Oh yeah. I see why the dating pool right now is how it is. Oh boy.
And you know, Abby just sitting back there. She ain't saying too much. She just, well, you know, I got my baby. I got my man. I ain't about to mess up a good thing. She just sitting back there listening to him.
I want a divorce.
I'm tired of marriage counseling. I'm tired of trying. I'm ready to leave. I'm ready for a divorce. I'm exhausted. I'm mentally at my capacity.
I truly thought I was gonna be with him forever. And I still love him so much, and I wanted it to be different, but it's not.
In sickness and health, better or worse, like, no. Like, so destroy myself and destroy my kids to keep a vow? Nope.
So if you're in a miserable marriage and you think about divorce regularly, go ahead and do it. You will not regret it. The thing that you'll regret is staying in that marriage longer than you wanted to and giving him years and years and years that should have been yours.
Women like this will have you believing divorce is the ultimate glow up. No regrets, just freedom. But for a lot of women who get divorced, this is just not the case. Some people end up knee deep in regret, questioning if they messed up their whole life.
My future was right there. Like, it was solidified. Like, I was comfortable for the rest of my life. Maybe not mentally in my relationship, but financially I was fine. And I gave it all up to be happy.
Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the one.
Everybody keeps thinking that I'm handling this divorce so well, and I'm not. I'm not okay.
Maybe I should have stayed. It was like stable in every other area but that. Like, is my mental health really that important?
All that fake, all that happy. Oh, I'm doing so great. I think I was in shock. And now it's coming like into reality, and I don't know.
I don't know. Is this another stage of divorce? I'm happy, but I go into these random thoughts of, you gave it all away. Like, was it worth giving away? And I know it was. I know it was for my mental sanity. I know it was for my happiness. It will all come together, but it's still terrifying to start over at this age.
I don't know what my life's gonna be like. I can't seem to remember anything bad. I just remember all the good things.
But let's not forget about the other party in this. Men also go through hell. Some see their net worth cut in half, but it's not just their wallets that take a hit, it's their entire lives.
So how much did my divorce cost me? Well, this is a fantastic question. There's direct and there's indirect costs. Direct costs, I lost $106,000 out of my 401k retirement plan I spent 20 years contributing to. I also lost half the equity in the home, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, cash, and savings that I also spent 20 years contributing to. I also lost half of all the non-liquid assets like furniture, household goods, electronics, cars. Keep in mind, I paid for all of these. And this is in addition to financially supporting her and her/our daughter for 17 years, which is many hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm now broke, live in a 2-bedroom apartment, and have a negative net worth for the first time since I was, 25. Indirect costs, my job, my sobriety, my self-worth, my masculinity, my hope for the future, my ability to trust women again, my belief in God, my pride, my motivation, my physical health. I don't know, let's just say everything.
Hearing one man lay out the sheer cost of his divorce is gut-wrenching enough. The crushing weight of alimony, child support, and the emotional fallout can push men to a breaking point. And when I say breaking point, I mean the ultimate breaking point. A permanent solution.
Divorced dads 10 times a day end themselves. Because they've come to the conclusion, I'm the problem, I'm the a-hole, remove me, They're cut off from their legacy. They're cut off from their kids. They feel rejected. And the person that I put ahead of my life, that I sacrificed for, that I love, that I put on this pedestal has abandoned me. Maybe I am worthless. Maybe I am a piece of crap. Maybe I don't deserve to be alive. And that negative self-talk drives them into the pavement, and they take a permanent L. And now that pain and misery they feel inside gets rippled into the family, into the children. And the scariest part is, for kids whose dads end themselves, they're more likely to do the same thing. My dad didn't stick around, why should I?
Now, are there guys that are bad in their marriage and deserve to get divorced? Of course. But some men get handed divorce papers for reasons that are simply unjust.
Why get a divorce after 25 years of marriage? The short answer is because it is not too late to be happy. And I finally got to a point at the beginning of the year where I decided that it wasn't too late to be happy. I still have, hopefully, many more years left, and I would like to be happy for those years.
Now, all I heard was I, breaking her vows because she was unhappy. Man, after 25 years of marriage, quarter of a century, this is very hard for some men to grasp.
My wife recently...
You know what I find funny about one of these clips, like this one specifically? She's talking about she's at mental capacity while lying in the bed. And that man was at work. Probably at work somewhere. Probably out doing something. Don't even know what's happening. She out here crying to the internet. This dude's out here working. Can you believe that?
And on today's episode of Another Woman That Has Now Regretted Her Divorce. Let's go.
Hey, it's Jenna. Recently divorced and kind of figuring out this new way of life. I was married for 23 years and with that person for 3 years prior. So for a total of 26 years of my life, I have been out of the game of dating, making friends, going out, and stuff like that as a single woman in her 40s. Yeah, I'm 47. So I've raised children. My children are adult children now. And it's kind of interesting because it's so lonely at this stage in life after divorce, especially with older children, because you make all your friends when they're younger, or at least I did. I met my friends mostly through my kids' activities. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I took them to practices. I went to school, all that stuff. Hey, it's me, Jenna. Recently divorced and trying to survive this year. I'm gonna be honest. The random things that trigger me are the craziest things. I'm sitting in my car, literally sitting in my car, trying to pull myself together because I did what any mom does, and I pulled an emergency drive to my daughter because she needed something, and drove an hour because she's at college to drop something off, and was just so thankful that I could do it for her and fit her in my schedule. And the littlest thing she said just triggered me, and this is the second time in a week that my child has triggered me without even meaning to. So we're getting ready to leave, and she's like, well, I'll be home because I'm going to be at the Clemson Notre Dame game because Dad's going to take us all. You think that's nothing, right? Nothing, right? And it instantly, she instantly saw a switch in me, and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing, because, I don't talk about that stuff. I don't want her to worry. So last week she says, oh, well, Dad said for Christmas we're going to go to Gatlinburg and be there for the holidays and do Dollywood. That man never once ever went to Gatlinburg or Dollywood ever in his entire life before he met me. That was where my family always went. I'm from Tennessee. That's something we always did. It was a bonding thing. And now that's what he's trying to do. It's like he's taken every single tradition I've ever done and now turned it into his. Everything I've ever done. Now I find myself triggered because during the hardest time of my year last year, of me literally trying to stay alive, me dealing with all the craziness of my ex, the lying, the alienation, him calling me a whore, him having my children call me a whore. Why? Not because I did anything bad, because I wore spaghetti straps and all that. And the only way that he could use my children against me was to say I was on social media. I'm a photographer. I make silly TikToks. Honestly, I've probably progressed more with my TikToks because at first they were just pictures, but the more I was stressed, the more I hid in myself, the more I tried to survive, the more I took refuge in TikToks and finding stuff that, you know, resonated with me. And honestly, it's the way I realized what a covert narcissist was, or how bad my abuse was, or mental abuse, or financial abuse, and all that stuff. Like, literally, TikTok has saved my life in so many ways. Who would think, Mom, we're going to Gatlinburg for Christmas, would trigger me? This man's had at least 3 vacations in the past year to like really nice places with my children. At least 3 that I know of, because he has them lie to me. He has them outright lie to me about so much stuff. So who knows? God knows what they've done. And then the holidays and all that. Now my triggers are, oh, he gets to just go and take my kids to the Notre Dame and Clemson game. I wish I could do that. I can't afford to do that. Why? Because he screwed me. He lied about owning a company. And there's ways to prove it. I'm trying to be happy and show my kids that like life can move on, but the triggers, the random triggers that have me sitting in a Quick Trip parking lot trying not to cry. Why? Because my ex has so much money. He makes more than $18,000 a month easily, or at least he did. He made almost $1 million the year before we divorced and then lied about it. He has all the money at his fingertips to do whatever he wants, to buy my children, take them on trips, take them on vacations. Why I literally have the bare minimum to pay my bills, on top of trying to restart a career because it was a hobby, because I was a stay-at-home mom. And now I sit here with the triggers. A trigger because he's going to the Clemson Notre Dame game with my kids. I can't just randomly afford that. Hell, I can't even get them all in the same room at the same time. So I sit here and I'm gonna get through this trigger. I'm gonna suck it up, buttercup.
So let's just be real
and
here.
I'm move on. But it's not fair. Like, it's not fair. I'm pissed.
Lifestyle that man was able to give you. That's really all it is. Now, on to part 2.
A couple of people in the comments said, after that long, what was it, 20 years, 20 plus years, after that long, your traditions are also his traditions and your children's traditions. Y'all have grown up long enough to do that. I'm remembering a time where a woman was upset that her ex-husband showed up with his new girlfriend to a place that they used to frequent for literal decades, I think she said. She said her and one of her colleagues had started having lunch there to do vision boards and stuff like that. And she said randomly, like, they showed up and he was acting weird, like he didn't want to introduce the ex-girlfriend to her, and turn their seats away from her table. I'm not sure why she was mad about that, but it just ties in with the point that they made that, you know, their traditions are no longer just your traditions. Women, some of these women think they own everything. They think that, you know, the world is theirs, and the traditions, the friends, all of it should go with them. And God forbid a man continue living his life the way he was living it before he got divorced. God forbid he enjoyed the things that he used to enjoy, or he enjoyed during marriage. God forbid. You guys, at some point in time, got to get over yourselves and move on. Truly move on.
One thing that I don't think we talk about nearly enough is the difference in when men and women try to fix their relationships. Because women will try to fix it before it falls apart, but men will try to fix it after it's already been broken. And of course, this can be a generalization, but let me just explain what I mean. When a relationship starts to break down, women will usually try to find a way to stop it. So they'll tell their partners that they've had enough and that something needs to change. But that phase can only last so long, because even if they start by communicating their needs, they'll stop if those needs aren't being met, or if it starts an argument every time they do. So they just stop talking altogether. And they feel themselves shutting down, losing attraction, and building resentment for the man that they once loved as a result. And that's when most women will either start threatening to leave, or will start to grieve the relationship until they eventually go numb. But a lot of men won't listen to those warnings, and they'll only acknowledge that there's a problem once their wife is either left or refuses to have sex with them. And he'll often act like he didn't even know there were problems, despite the fact that she was probably trying to communicate them for years. And even then, they don't really think about how to save the relationship.
They just think about how to make her stay or how to make her want to be intimate again. So they say all the right things and make all the big promises until you give in, because getting back to normal is the goal, even if the norm looks an awful lot like misery. And a lot of women will choose to go back during this time, because he's finally saying everything that she's always wanted to hear. And she'll think that him actually paying attention means that he's finally taking her seriously, because we're taught this toxic principle that some people just don't know what they have until it's gone. But a lot of those men will revert right back to their old ways as soon as they get what they want, because they don't have to follow through if the problem is fixed as far as they're concerned. The sad part is that we don't want to hate the man that we love, and we don't want to resent him. So we do everything we can in order to stop ourselves from getting there. We try to fix it before we don't want to be touched. But you don't want to listen until we refuse to let you touch us. And we try to talk to you before we file divorce papers. But you don't want to listen until you're begging us to rip them up. So please just listen to her when she talks, because I promise that it's a lot easier to fix it when the love is still there. But it can be almost impossible to fix it once the love is gone.
Somebody in the comments said this is dead on, and they act completely shocked when you leave. No, this is actually not dead on. It sounds good until it doesn't. Until it doesn't. See, what you guys forget is when men open up and they say, hey, I'm not really feeling this, y'all jump over the top of him with y'all's issues, and y'all say, well, you know what? If you wasn't doing this, if you didn't have this going on, and pretty soon it becomes about you. It becomes about you. And so that man's problems, he really got to fix what he got going on before you decide to fix anything that you got going on. There's a lot of women out there like that. Well, we fix it right then and there. We try to progress and fix it. How are you trying to fix it? What are you doing? Y'all continue to say that y'all are effective at communication, but y'all be trash, absolute garbage at it. What are you saying to him? Well, I told him how I felt and I broke down, and you said a lot of things in your breakdown. You neglected to mention that. You said a lot of things in your breakdown that was quite frankly offensive, out of pocket, out of line, and disrespectful. But I just want him to hear my heart. Y'all always put yourselves on the right side of history. But when it comes to a man, oh, he deserved it because he didn't fight for the relationship. He didn't try. Come on, guys, you can do better than this.
Y'all, imagine being married, asking for a divorce for a specific reason, and then regretting that later. Okay, so there was this woman on TikTok who made a video about her friend. So her and her friend went out recently, and her friend was married for 11 years to a man that she thought they were going to be together forever and ever and ever, because they were just a super cute couple. They had a really good dynamic, and they got along really well and never had crazy issues, right? So but she's now divorced and has been divorced for 3 years. And so she asks her, like, oh, like, why did you end up, getting divorced? And she said, well, I am the one who asked for the divorce because I got bored. She said the relationship got really boring. She was a stay-at-home mom. All he did was work. And they were well off. So this guy is putting in a lot of hours and a lot of, work time, so that way they can live the comfortable life they were living, okay? He paying all the bills. So she said she got bored always being home, taking care of the kids, and not really having them time or doing like spontaneous fun stuff. Well, she would tell him about it, and he would try to take her out and try to do stuff, but it just felt like it wasn't enough, and it wasn't the same for her that, like it used to be when you're in a fresh relationship. Well, it's been 11 years. Spice it up. You do something. Anyway, so she asked for a divorce. He gave it to her, and she's been dating for these past 3 years, and so she asks her, how's it been? How's the dating life been, okay? And she tells her, honestly, it's been trash. It was fun at first, but now it's not fun because I'm looking for something serious now, and no guys want to take serious. All they want to do is have fun, right? Club, bar, let's go out, let's do this, let's travel, let's do that. It's always go. And that is what she wanted in the beginning, but that's not what she wants now, 3 years later, right? So now she's like, I want to get serious with someone, and I want someone to help me with my kids and help me. And she wanted to be a stay-at-home mom again, okay? What she wanted was her old life that she chose to give up for some fun, temporary fun at that, right? So she left this good-ass man
for both just to regret it. And he has been now in a relationship for 2 years of the 3 years they've been divorced. So a year he took to himself, then he found someone, and he's been with that person for 2 years. She has now moved in. She is now living the life that this woman once was living, and she herself has 2 kids, so he's helping her with her kids and his kids, and she's kind of like offended by that. Shorty, you gave him up. He got every right to be happy, and he was a good one, because somebody cuffed him up real quick and knew how to keep him. So all I gotta say is, if you got a good man, keep him. Be bored, bitch. Figure it out.
A woman in the comments said she had a good man, good life, and she just let it go. Another guy said, water your own grass, folks. Facts. End of story.
I hate when I see a man that's so fine and then I pass him and he doesn't say anything. When people say, oh, girls don't shoot their shot. Yes, they do. If I look at you like this, say you walking this way and I'm walking like this, and if I look at you like this, that's me shooting my shot. Come say something.
Got it. So look for women looking at you in the same way that you would look at a guy outside of your car begging for change.
Please name 3 countries in North America. I don't think there's no country. Whoa, is North America not a country in itself? What if North America? Is Europe one? No. I thought we in North America right now, United States. Okay, so that's all Nevada. The United States of America, that's it. That's gotta be racist. Look, America. Okay, Brazil. I thought America was a country. I need a better flag. America is a country. Alaska. Ooh. Canada, US, and Canada, Mexico. America, like us, Mexico, and Canada. Africa. Now, United States, Australia. Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh, man.
You know, they're not even trying at this point. They playing around. At this point, I'm going to bed, man.